All right. Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon. So used to doing these a little earlier in the day, and this is the first one that we've done at this time. So we're going to kind of see as an experiment what happens to the number of people watching this if I change the time. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to change it to this time every day. This is just an experiment. I had an opportunity today to adjust my schedule. We'll see what happens. So at the moment, I have 6 people checked in, and I got 3 likes so far. So it'd be nice to see both of those numbers go up. Anyway, if you're watching, say hi in the chat, just so I can know who I'm talking to. It's probably going to be my usuals plus a couple others. What's up, Connor? What's going on, everybody? Same people. As you can see, I dressed up for the occasion. It's my favorite green work hoodie. After all this is over and I'm done teaching for the day, I'm going to head out and get some work done. All right, so up until now, we've been discussing a thing called SigFigs. We started them yesterday, and we got the whiteboard, and we're all ready to go. And we will be talking about the next part of the idea of SigFigs. Now, SigFigs, here, let's go back to this one. I'm not quite done. SigFigs, if you're not sure what I'm getting at, you have to go back and watch. Yeah, see, I'm getting more people here today. Okay. What's going on, everybody? It's good to see you. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyway, SigFigs is a concept in which you have to look at a value and you need to determine which digits or which figures in that value are important or significant. That doesn't mean you can just drop them off. So let's go to the whiteboard and do some stuff here. All right. Again, if you're not too sure what I'm getting at, you need to go back and watch yesterday's. All right, just so you're up to date. Okay, so let's look at a few numbers and we'll see what we got. Let's say I have 0.010590. Take a look at that number and decide how many SigFigs there should be. Okay, I'm kind of giving you an opportunity to analyze that for a moment. 0.010590. Okay? All right, so here's the deal. These first 2 zeros are not significant. That doesn't mean you could just delete them. They're not significant because they're leading. They have to be there. They're placeholders. Okay? Now, the 1 is definitely significant. That's rule 1. Rule 2 said zeros between are significant. Okay? So this 0 is between the 1 and the 5, so that makes that 0. So I got the 1, the 0, and the 5, as well as the 9. You got 4 SigFigs here so far. This 0 is also significant because it's lagging and there's a decimal. So that was a good question to get started with because it had a lot of rules that apply. This has got a total of 5 SigFigs. All right, if you're not quite sure what I'm getting at, again, go back, watch the video from yesterday. Should walk you through all those basic rules. All right, no big deal. Now let's talk about rounding. Okay, we're going to be rounding some numbers here. I know you know how to round. So let's say I got the number, let's start easy, okay? 5.5. And let's look at another one, 7.30. Fourth one would be, let's say, 99. Okay. And 101. Okay. Let's go through and list how many SigFigs are on each of these 4 numbers, and then we'll see if we can adjust it. So 5.5 should have 2 SigFigs. So I'm going to write 2SF there. 99 should have 2 SigFigs. 7.30, 3 SigFigs. And the 101, 3 SigFigs. All right? It just becomes second nature. Now, I'm going to erase that stuff so we got more room. Let's practice rounding a little bit. All right, let's say I'm going to round. Here's an easy one. Let's round 5.5. It's got 2 SigFigs. Let's round it to have only 1 SigFig. So here's how you do that. You start over here, all the way to the left. You find the first significant figure, 5. Then you go next door. The 5, this second 5 will tell the first 5 to go up. So to round 5.5 to 1 SigFig, you change it to 6. Hope that makes sense. Okay, 7.30, 3 sig figs. Let's round that to 2 sig figs. That just becomes 7.3, right? I just got rid of the 0. That 0 was significant in that case. I got rid of it, down to 2. Now let's round that to 1 sig fig. I'm going to change that to 7. So if I wanted 1 sig fig, there you go. Notice I went from 3 sig figs to 2 to 1. But I would have the same answer if I just went from 3 to 1. 7.30, 1 sig fig, 7. All right, here we go. You ready? 99. Round that to 1 sig fig. Well, 9, that's your first one. Go next door. The 9 tells that other 9 to go up, so I get 100. Right? So the final answer for that one with 1 sig fig should be 100. And the last one here, let's get rid of all this nonsense. I got 101, 3 sig figs. Let's round that to 2 sig figs. So 3 sig figs. I want to change that to 2 sig figs. Okay? To do that, I got 1 sig fig there, and I got another one here. So I got to go next door. This one tells the 0 to stay the same. So that means I got 100. But that's only 1 sig fig the way it's written. Now think back at how we can address that. You can do the bar. That was the last rule we learned yesterday. So 1, 0, 0, 100 with a bar over the first 0 is 2 sig figs. All right, here we go. Let's do another couple. Let's say I have 16,000. Big number. Round that to 1 sig fig. Okay? Take a moment. Give that one a chance. Pause the video if you have to. And then I'm going to kind of give you a second. 16,000. Round it to 1 sig fig. As it's written, you should have 2 sig figs, right? Well, I want only 1 sig fig. That becomes 20,000. So this would be the answer in that question. All right, now here are a few ways of how you can get this wrong. So these are examples of what not to do, okay? All right, 2 sig figs, 16,000. Say the question says, round this to 1 sig fig. Some people are going to go, 20. All right, I get where you're coming from, but 20 cannot be rounded from 16,000. You see the wild difference in sizes of these two numbers? 16,000 cannot be rounded to 20, but it can be rounded to 20,000. You with me so far? I'm hoping that is okay. Another thing that a lot of people get goofed up is when you have a couple leading zeros. All right? Let's say you have a number like this. How many sig figs are there? You got 0.00541. This to me looks like 3 sig figs the way it's written. Okay? Let's say I want you to round it to 2 sig figs. Here's how a lot of people get it wrong. They just write 54. Now, I see where they're coming from, but something way, way less than 1 cannot be rounded to 54. You have to keep those zeros because they're placeholders. You can't just delete them. They're not significant, but they are required. Okay? All right, that's going to be an exercise. I will probably put up... did I put up an assignment yesterday? Yes, I did, right? Counting the number of sig figs. And my phone's going off again. Let's see here. Hang on a second. I'm expecting a phone call. Same phone call I was expecting yesterday. It's a big cluster past couple days. But it is what it is. So let me just get myself straightened out here. Make sure my phone's good. That should have been enough time for you guys to get caught up and figure out what we're doing. Okay, so rounding. All right, here we go. Let's talk about math, okay? So the deal is you're going to be doing math calculations, and when you do these math calculations, you can use a calculator. That's fine. But your calculator cannot do the sig figs for you. So in other words, you have some math, some questions, word problems, whatever, You figure out what you got to do. You punch it in the calculator. You're then going to get an answer. Well, that's not always the right answer. So let's go to the whiteboard and show you what I mean. All right. The last step in every calculation is going to be you rounding the answer appropriately. So let's say in math, SigFigs in math. Now, math teachers hate this stuff, okay? It's just the way it is. But science teachers prefer this because this is how you have to analyze your results. So anyway, there's two rules, all right? So rule 1 is for multiplication and division, okay? You have to round your answer to have the same number of SigFigs as, this is wordy, as the fewest in the question. I actually wrote all that out for you. Let's do an example, okay? Let's move my face so I'm not in the way. I'll put you up there. There you go. Okay. So let's say I had 2 times 3. All right, 2 times 3. Easy math, okay? That should be 6. Now, whenever you get your answer, before you write it down, you then need to ask yourself, okay, how many SigFigs do I need? Every time you do any math, how many SigFigs do I need? Just make that a habit. So 2 times 3 is 6. Now, it's a multiplication problem. So your answer must have the same number as the fewest in the question. So 2 has 1 SigFig, 3 has 1 SigFig. So you're only allowed 1 SigFig in your answer, and therefore 6 is legitimate. That's cool. All right. Let's try another one. Let's try 2 times 6. Okay? Multiplication, same rule. 1 SigFig, 1 SigFig. So your answer must only have 1 SigFig. Well, 2 times 6 is 12. Round 12 to have 1 SigFig, and you get 10. So 2 times 6 is no longer 12. 2 times 6 is now 10. All right, so here's the reason why. Okay, hopefully this will make sense. We don't know much about 2. All we know is it's 2. It's not 2.00000. It's not 6.000 whatever. It's 6. Very boring, very plain, not a whole lot of information. So because of the lack of info these basic numbers give us, we can't have a very exact answer. Your answer cannot be any more accurate than the numbers used to get it. All right, let's take a look at another one. What's 3 times 5? Now, I'm doing this on the fly, rounding it to SigFigs all at the same time. You're going to get your answer, whether you use a calculator or not, and then round it in your head to 20. 3 times 5 is 20. Now, your calculator should say 3 times 5 is 15, but 15 has 2 SigFigs. We only need 1, or in other words, we're only allowed to have 1. So 15 gets rounded to 20. Now, let's suppose we update this and we know more information about the numbers in the question, right? Let's say we used better instruments and we got better numbers. Now we're allowed to have a better answer. 3.0 times 5.0. I have 2 SigFigs and 2 SigFigs. Now I'm allowed 2 in my answer. Now I can have 15. That's completely allowed. So your answer can't be good unless you have good numbers to start with. All right, let's update this even more. Let's say I have 3.00 times 5. So 3.00 is a good number. I know a lot going on there, right? I also only have 1 SigFig in the 5. So the 5 is your weakest link. Your answer can only have 1 SigFig. Therefore, we're back to 20. I'm hoping that makes sense. Give me some feedback in the chat here, you guys, that you're with me so far with how to do multiplication and division. Now let's suppose, one more example, 3.00 times 5.00. Now I'm going to get 15.0. Hopefully, again, give me some feedback here. Hopefully you can see that the more accurate your numbers are that you use from the question, the more accurate your answer can be in the final part of the solving. You with me? Does that make sense? Okay. All right, so same rule would apply for division. All right, so let's go to Rule 2. Rule 2 is addition and subtraction. Now, this is slightly different rule, okay? So I'm getting some feedback. Everybody's saying it's making sense. Okay, good. All right, so in this case, since it's addition, you want to round the answer to have the same number of decimal places or places after the decimal. All right, so for instance, let's do some addition here. Let's say I got 5.0 plus 2.0. Well, 5 plus 2 is 7, right? Cool. Well, here with the 5, I got one place after the decimal. The 2, I have one place after the decimal. That means I'm required to have 1. So 7.0, okay? All right, let's try another one. Let's say I have 5.0000, 4 zeros, plus 2. And that's it. I got to add it up. Now, I'm only allowed to have a whole number, 7, because that 2 is your weakest link. It has the least information. And following the rule of addition, you have to give that same amount of information in your final answer. A whole number, whole number. Okay. 2 rules, you got to know them. They're not hard. Multiplication and division is a number of SigFigs. Addition and subtraction is going to be the number of places after the decimal. So let's erase all this, and let's bring up the idea of order of operations. All right, what is it? What's the thing that you guys for you remembering order of operations? Put that in the chat for me. Order of operations. All right, when I was growing up, again, put it in the chat. What do you call it? Put in the chat what the an acronym. That's the word I was trying to remember. What the acronym is that you guys were taught when you're growing up with this. All right, so the order of operations that I learned was, please excuse my detention after school. Okay, so yeah, PEMDAS. Okay, so it was please excuse my detention after school. I think you guys learned a different way, but it's the same thing. So parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction in that order. So if you're coming across a complicated question, you got to follow these steps. All right, so let's give you a goofy one. All right, let's give you an easier one first. What's 2 times 6 times 3.0? All right, now here's what you got, okay? Since this is all the same rule, multiplication and multiplication, you can round at the end. You don't have to round after the first part and then round again. Just round after each operation. So as I'm changing operations, I get a round. So 2 times 6 is 12. Times 3.0 would be 36, but I'm only allowed 1 sig fig, so 36 gets rounded to 40. Okay? So you're going to round after each operation changes. Let's try this one. I'm just making this up as I go. Let's say 2.0 times 6.0 plus 5. Okay? 2.0 times 6.0. That's going to be 12. Now, I don't have to do anything because now I'm changing operations. I'm going from this part to include addition. Okay? So, with this portion having a different operation, there's no other operations that's in the same rule as that. continuing on, I got to round here. So 2.0, 6.0 is 12. 2 SigFigs. 12 plus 5, both are whole numbers. I'm going to get 17. Okay, let's try this one. What's 2 times 6 plus 5? 2 times 6 is going to be 10 plus 5, 15. So you can see again, the more info that we have about our numbers, the better our answer get. This is crappy. This is going to be what you think is a wrong number or a wrong answer. But it's rounded correctly. And to be honest with you, this would be the final correct answer. If you give me 17, I would probably knock off a point and call it, SF minus 1. I would cross it out or something. Meaning I got to take a point off for sig fig errors. So for now on, anytime you do any math, you got to do sig figs as well. That's part of your steps at this point. All right, I'm going to give you what looks like a goofy one, okay? Let's try something with fractions, okay? Let's say I got parentheses here. 5 plus 3.0 divided by 2.00 times 1.00. All right? Now, I got my parentheses. I should do that part first, right? And then you got to round your sig fig. So 5 plus 3.0 is going to be 8 in the numerator. 2.00 times 1.00, that's going to be 2.00. Now you can do your division, okay? Because we just simplified each part, right? So 8 divided by 2.00 is 4. I did sig figs all the way through, okay? Again, I made it up, so. Let's try 5.0 plus 3.00, parentheses, divided by 2.00 times 1.00. Real similar, right? All I did was change that 5 to 5.0. Well, 5.0 plus 3.0 is 8.0. This is still 2.00. I'm doing sig figs. 8.0 divided by 2.0 is 4.0. Again, the more information we have about the numbers, the more accurate your answer can be. I hope that makes sense. All right. Any questions? Any questions at all regarding the two rules and how you do rounding at the end? Okay. I hope that was relatively painless. It usually seems to be worse than it really is. And students don't like this, and I get it because it's a major it goes against everything you've learned in terms of math from other teachers, and now I'm telling you that, in this context, that this is actually the right way to do it. So it's a bit of a struggle. Everybody seems to be okay, right? Okay. All right, so here's the deal. Today's Friday. What I would like you to do is continue with that assignment that I put on the Google Classroom yesterday. Okay, wrap that up. It's due Monday. Just get it done. Monday, we're going to practice some more of this stuff, and I'm going to put an assignment up on Monday. Now, starting next week, you're no longer, and I know you're not going to be happy with this, but you're no longer going to have 48 hours to do an assignment. It's going to be 24 hours. Here on out, this is just from my supervisor to me to you. This is what we've been doing. This is what we're going to be required to do. So 24 hours of an assignment, and it actually kind of frees us up to not move faster, but to cover little chunks a little quicker, and we can get through the material in a more efficient way. So 24 hours for every assignment. So we're going to do 2 a week, 24 hours per, and we'll just use that to kind of chug along and get through the material. I built up all my lesson plans, whether or not we go back to school, and we should be okay. We're going to cover about the same material as we would have anyway, so not a big deal either way. All right, so finish that assignment that's there now. Do Monday. Monday, we're going to go back to 8 a.m. and see how we do. And I'll put up another assignment Monday or Tuesday, practicing the stuff that we've covered after the last assignment. All right? Cool. All right, guys. I will see you again Monday at 8 a.m. And if you have any questions that I didn't get to, I'll be going live again at 9 a.m. Same link and everything. And just hop on, hang out, wait until the end after my After my honors portion is finished, you can ask any questions you want. All right, guys. In the meantime, stay out of trouble, and I will be talking to you again soon. See ya. All right, guys. If anyone's out there, just say hi. I could be talking to myself at the moment. But this is the honors portion of today's live stream. And today we're just doing like a Q&A. And if you have any questions about the assignment that's due on Monday, now's the time to ask. Also, I want to let you know that I may have mentioned this before in the past, that we're going to do 2 assignments every week. There might be more, but a minimum of 2 every week. And moving forward after this assignment, very next assignment I put up, whether it's Monday or Tuesday or whatever, you're only going to have 24 hours to do it. So that is the minimum that the school has decided. So I might say you need 2-3 days to do this, whatever. But a minimum of 24 hours moving forward, okay? So any assignment after this one that's due Monday will have 24 hours. So if I give you one on Monday, we do Tuesday. Tuesday, be Wednesday, and so on. What's up, guys? I see a couple people saying hi and checking in. It's good to see you. Similar names almost every time I do this. Without fail, Matt and Cynthia, you guys check in pretty regularly. I do not want to commit to having live streams this time of day here on out. I really don't want to do that. I think the 8 and 9 a.m., that was working pretty well for me, but I had like a scheduling problem, so moving it to 12 and 1 today seemed like a logical experiment. Who knows? We might be moving it back, whatever. I just have so much going on, even though we're quarantined or whatever. I'm supposed to have more time because I'm not driving to school, whatever. I just feel way more busy than I should be, considering. So I'm trying to work out all the schedules between you guys, being available for you, emails or whatever, and doing that. All right, so do you guys have any questions regarding the assignment that's due on Monday? It's the comprehensive assignment for the entire unit, so it's going to be kind of, a mixed bag. It's going to have a little bit of everything from Unit 6. And then on Monday, we're going to start Unit 7, which is going to be a break from the math, just to give you a heads up. So you won't be doing any unit conversions or dimensional analysis. We're going to be talking about chemical equations and balancing equations and predicting products and stuff like that. So it's kind of a departure from what we've done the past 2-3 weeks or whatever it is. And we're going to, having said that, don't forget the stuff that we covered. You're going to be using it again in Unit 8, and that's the last unit. So we have 2 more units. And honestly, we have plenty of time to do it. Even with the obviously slow pace of doing it this way through the internet is taking its toll on the amount and how deep we can cover. We still have enough time to cover everything. So it is what it is. If you guys don't have any questions, I'll give you another few minutes or so. I'm going to kind of dial it back and step out of the live stream. Let's see where we're at. A mixed bag. Okay. So there's a moment or two delay. I'm trying to figure out this Google Meet thing. And I know I had time slots up on the Google Classroom for you guys to choose. And to be honest with you, I only had one person choose a time. So I will be doing that later today behind the scenes. And, it's almost like a conference. But moving forward, I probably won't be doing that much anymore. I tried it, and no one seemed to have much of a response. So it may have been the times that I chose. I'm guessing you guys are late afternoon, early evening people. When I'm the opposite, I want to get up and get to work and get it over with. So when I come home, I can hang out with my family. I don't want to be doing school at 8 o'clock at night. So I don't see that, changing. If you guys do want to do a Google Meet or whatever, like a personal conference, I'm open to it, but we're going to have to work out a time that works for both of us. And you're going to have to approach me with it, moving forward. All right, any questions? Last call for questions. It's been a few minutes now that I've been doing this honors portion, and I'm trying to see if you guys need any help. So, yeah, my non-honors group, they're learning SigFigs right now, and they're doing math. And I could tell a little bit of a freak out is happening, just like it did with you guys. Like 2 times 6 is 10. They did not like that. But that's them. You guys got this way, way advanced unit conversion and, we're doing mole calculations. So, okay, I got my first person saying no questions. And Matt, I'm assuming you are the same deal because it's been about 5 minutes since your last comment. It looks like people are dropping out, too. We're down to 4 people. All right, so I'm going to step back, and no questions for now. It all looks pretty doable. All right, very good, Matt. That's it's good to hear. Okay, I'm going to step out. You guys who actually checked in and are commenting at 1 o'clock in the afternoon for a 5-minute live stream just for questions, thank you. I appreciate that. It's, I set this time aside, and for no one to come would have been a little disheartening, and I probably would stop. But the few people who do consistently, I appreciate it, and you guys just keep doing the same thing, all right? If you do have any questions moving forward, because the assignment's due noon on Monday, just send me an email, okay? I might not respond to it right away. I have a full busy day tomorrow and Sunday, but I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can if you send me an email. But no promises for a fast response, all right? Having said that, the first little bit of Monday's live stream will be dedicated to Q&A. So it'll be last-minute opportunity to ask any questions. And once I see that there are no questions or they kind of peter out, we'll move on to starting the next unit, which is Unit 7. All right? All right, guys. Cool. Stay out of trouble, and I will be talking to you again on Monday. Thank you, Matt. That makes me feel good. Love you guys, too. All right, I will talk to you again on Monday. In the meantime, questions, send to email. All right, take it easy.